Yesterday, after that wonderful shiur that we had, so I went outside from the Beis Midrash and I got a phone call from a blocked cover number, sealed number. I said, what? Private number. And I answered. It was Rav Shalom. Oh. I told him, Shalom Arav, how are you? He said, Baruch Hashem, ma shlomchem. Wonderful. Told him, we just now gave a shiur with rappers, singers, Nissim that you met in the United States. So he told me, yes, I saw. This is why I called.
That's one thing.
It's not simple at all. We really don't understand, and we cannot appreciate even, we cannot understand, we cannot evaluate, we cannot realize, we cannot because we cannot contain. We will be crazy if we're going to understand where are we. We're going to be crazy, totally crazy. Rav Shalom said that each and every one of the students that are here in this yeshiva, before they got the approval from heaven to come and learn in Yeshivat Chut Shel Chesed, they made a horrible mess in heaven. They made a balagan in heaven. They made how you say mehuma, noise, a lot of noise, wild emotion, uproar, commotion in heaven, that they're going to let them come to this yeshiva. And after that we're here now, so this is the Yetzer Hara to forget. One of the friends that came to the yeshiva told me that 1 week, 2 weeks after that he came to yeshiva, to Eretz Israel from Chutz La'aretz, from United States, he had to remind himself what's the reason that he made Aliyah, why he came to Eretz Israel at all. He asked me why. The Yetzer Hara erased for him all of the sorrow, all of the difficulties that he had over there, and picture it like perfect life over there back in United Hell. And Eretz Israel full with difficulties. Which difficulties? People live here in heaven. Everyone here, we live in heaven. The poverty that we suffer here, you're so sure on yourself that you would be rich in the United States. How many poor people, homeless there are in the United States, people that cannot finish the month, don't have food to bring. Yesterday we heard people that have been forced to rob, to steal, to fight, for the minimum, for parnasah, to survive, to sell drugs. It's everywhere. Adrabah. Here there is a reward. Adam le'amal yulad, the person born to suffer in this world, to have a certain obligation, yoke on his shoulders, on his neck, but we're praising the one that is putting the effort in the Torah. Everyone is suffering. Jews, non-Jews, the one that connected to Breslov, the one that are not connected to Breslov, everyone is suffering. The righteous people, the ones that are not righteous at all, everyone is suffering, just there is only one difference. If you're attaching it to the faith, so then you're going to have a reward, means it's useful, you have a benefit, something is coming out from that sorrow. And if not, so adrabah, you can even become to be a kofer mamash, to hate Hashem and to be angry and frustrated, and the hatred is going to drag you to do more sins and more avonot, and you're just falling and falling and falling. Everyone are suffering. Am Yisrael are crying and whining. We had the Holocaust. You know how many nations had Holocaust? You know how many nations had Holocaust? I'm not going to say even worst, but the numbers were a lot bigger than our numbers. Cannot say worst, but horrible Holocausts erased nations. So everyone just need to connect it, all of the difficulty that he's got in his life, to the purpose, to connect it to Hashem. And if you have tests in your life, if you're going to stand in those tests, you're going to bond yourself to the source of Kedusha, to Hashem, to the truth, and then something going to come out from it. You're going to have something in your hand. What's that thing? It's faith again. The reward is to believe in Hashem. When Hashem is smiling to you, you can see Hashem. When Hashem is not smiling, you cannot see Him, you cannot recognize that it's Him. When Hashem is forgiving the avonot from the person have complete faith. He believes in Hashem. What it means that he knows that it's all good, that he's always happy. You just see, it's all good. There is a decree, I need to be poor today. There is a decree, I need to be with lacking in Shlom Bayit today. There is a decree, I need to be a bachelor today. There is a decree, I need to look and search for my mezonot, for food. It's from heaven. It was supposed to be like that before of the creation. Bore Olam knows exactly why. It's my tikkun. I have to go through those difficulties. But what am I doing with it? This is the question. If I'm attaching it to the Creator, to the source of all, and I know that it's Him, when you're coming to that place, you don't feel no sorrow. You don't have no grief, say? Grief. You just see Hashem. Bar'et Hashem. Ki Chezkel HaNavi, he saw Hashem. The prophets. Let's talk about the highest people of them all. The prophets, the righteous people. They were not suffering. When Rabbeinu lost his boy, his baby, Shlomo Ephraim, the holy baby, Shlomo Ephraim, Rabbi Nachman heard from the wife of Rabbeinu that she had a complaint on Rabbeinu. What she was complaining? She said, this man, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, is making miracles for everyone, and for us, for our own house, he's not saving our baby. She had a complaint on Rabbeinu. Why didn't he save the baby? And they came to Rabbeinu and they were afraid. It was during the days of Shiv'ah, and they were afraid, and they came to Rabbeinu and they told him that they were just standing in front of him and they wanted to condole him, to say something. They didn't have the words at all. And Rabbeinu Mamash, he was all 100% spirit and divine spirit. Mamash, Rabbeinu, everything was open to him. And he told them on his wife, she's got complaints on me. She thinks that she feels sorrow, that she's mitzta'eret. And then Rabbeinu started to cry and to cry and to cry. And Rabbi Natan and Rabbi Naftali that were standing in front of him when he was crying, means revealing his sorrow that he had, they couldn't stand in that place. And they ran away. Rabbi Natan and Rabbi Naftali, they left him to stand crying and ran away. They couldn't stand that sight. Day after, they came to him and he told them, why you ran away? If you would stay, I would tell you amazing things. So, even that sorrow, and when his first wife passed away, it was, I think, it was in the eve of Shavuot, and Shalom Aleichem. And they came in the eve of Shavuot. And when she passed away, Rabbeinu had a horrible sorrow. Horrible sorrow. First wife is something very important. And we're not appreciating it at all. But we need to know the importance of first wife. Abal Shem Tov said that if his first wife wouldn't pass away, he could have achieved that level went up to heaven like Eliyahu Navi, but in the middle of the market, in the noontime, when it was all crowded, busy. Means a higher level than Eliyahu Navi. Eliyahu Navi had to go to the fields, to the forest, to be alone, to individual, alone, and then he achieved that huge level to climb with his body to heaven. Baal Shem Tov said, if my first wife wouldn't pass away, I could do that in the afternoon, in the middle of in the day, in the middle of the market, between people. Nothing would confuse him from doing that. Means a higher level than Eliyahu Navi would achieve. That's the first wife. So the Rabbenu's wife passed away. He had horrible sorrow. Rabbi Nachman is explaining that they saw on him how he's conquered that sorrow, how he's working with it, how he's surrendering himself and doing his wonderful job that you have to do with it, with all of the process that she was on her deathbed until her neshama went up, and he was with her in all of that time, and he was doing things, yichudim, kavanot, and by the halacha, when there is a holiday that starts in the middle of Shiv'ah, it cancels the Shiv'ah. So actually Rabbeinu had only few hours to mourn on his wife, mamash, and in Chatzot Yom, this is it. And she just passed away, and they buried her, and that wonderful Shavuot, mamash, Rabbi Nachman is explaining how Rabbeinu was talking to them, and how he was eating and then learning and then eating and learning, and he was revealing amazing secrets to them. And in the first night of Shavuot, he was occupied. He wasn't talking too much. But in the second day, we have 2 days of holiday abroad. So in the second day, he was more happy, and he was showing smiling faces. He was smiling to them more, and he was. So you see, the righteous people are working with what that Hashem gives them. Moshe Rabbeinu on the way to Egypt to save, a snake is coming and swallowing him. The Yetzer Hara is coming to attack him, to kill him. And all of the righteous people have difficulties. If you're going to be righteous, it's not this is it, you won't have troubles in your life. No, everyone have a journey. Everyone have a path. Everyone have a track. Everyone have to buy high-tech shoes and to prepare himself. You have a journey. You have to cross the ocean. You have to walk into the desert. Everyone. It's written that Shlom Bayit, to have Shlom Bayit, it's hard as tearing Yam Suf, Kriyat Yam Suf. Mezonotav shel Adam kashim kekriyat Yam Suf. To find the Parnasah, it's hard as tearing Yam Suf. It means that you have to walk through Yam Suf in your life. If you're holy, the sea is going to be open for you. If you're not holy, this is what it's written, Mimtzulot Yam Totzieni, that you have to scream to Hashem Yitbarach, Mimtzulot Yam Totzieni. Drag me out from the depths of the sea, from the storm, from the waves, from all of the confusions. There was a storm once, and Rabbi Akiva was the only one that survived, that came out. They were in a ship, there was a storm, the ship drowned, and Rabbi Akiva came to the shore. And they asked him, how you managed, how you came out from the storm. So he said, I was bending my head to every wave. Means everyone that was in the sea once, he knows that when there are big waves, strong waves, you cannot stand in front of them. You have to surrender. You bend your head a little bit, and then the wave is going. So you're going to be wet, you don't like that. You rather to be outside and dry. But lemaise, if you want to be saved, you have to surrender. He was surrendering. He was accepting every wave and wave, every difficulty in his life. He was accepting it. It was just, it's from Hashem. When you know that it's from Hashem, you're not suffering so much. When Avraham Avinu heard that he need to slaughter his son, can you imagine something like that? Horrible test. Who can stand in that? But because that it was so clear for him that it's from Hashem, Hashem revealed himself to me and told me, Avraham, Avraham, take your son. Which son? Yitzchak. The first son, the first son. From which woman? The one that you loved. It Yitzchak. The one that you love. I love them both. It Yitzchak. It is Yitzchak. No mistakes. No second option. Take him, that one, your diamond, your neshama, your heart, your love, your eyes, your life. You need to sacrifice it. If Avraham had a lacking in his faith, he couldn't do that. He could not do that. And another huge test that Avraham Avinu had through all of that, that when he was taking Yitzchak with him, all of the people that for years he was teaching them that it's not allowed to sacrifice your children when they were worshipping idols, they were all standing and they dropped Judaism because of that. They left Judaism, they left everything. They said, look what he's doing now. And for him, it was the worst. Because he was running after those souls, after those people for all of his life. And now actually he was the reason that they dropped everything. Think now, you see Chas Shalom, the Rav sits in a pub, I don't know, smoking nargila, dating with women, I don't know what, chatting, I don't know, you see him stuck in Facebook. What are you going to do? A lot of people can lose their kippah. A lot of people can lose their mind. What, Rav? Doing this? Yes, Rav done this, Rav done that. Tests like those, who can stand in those? And for him, it's the biggest test of them all. Why? Because those souls, they're not going to make it. Souls that they, and he was the one to be blamed. He's the one, he's the reason. But he's not looking at nothing. Why? Because he clarified for himself that Hashem told me to do that. Who is Hashem? Hashem is good. When Hashem is good and when Hashem is commanding, this is it. Don't have no questions anymore. So this is why all of our effort should be always to remind ourselves, to bring ourselves back to that point. It's all Hashem. When you realize that it's all Hashem, you don't mind, you don't care. It's not bothering you, it's not ruining your life. It's all Hashem. It's Hashem. Who is Hashem? Hashem is good. What He's doing? Only good. Perfect. This is good. This is good. But I'm hungry. It's good that you're hungry. It's the best that you're hungry. A Jew came to this world to serve Hashem, to worship Hashem, to be and you have to be ready to die for Hashem Yitbarach. So, what do you care if your death gonna be in a war, in Kiddush Hashem, or if you, like the verse is saying, Alecha oragnu kol hayom. For you, we're gonna die all day long. Adrabah. If a person died in a war, it is a wonderful Kiddush Hashem. He's got a huge reward. He's going to be with Rabbi Akiva and his friends in the world to come. He died on Kiddush Hashem. Wonderful. He achieved it only once. But if for you every moment is bitter than death, that you don't have food to bring to your kids, that you don't know what to do with your shlom bayit, that you're trying to satisfy your wife and you cannot find the right advice, and that now you have to humiliate yourself and to ask for charity, for money for your house, and mamash for the basic things, not for luxuries. You have to beg for food, for bread, and you're going and you're begging, and for you it's bitter than death. And for your wife it's horrible and she hates it and you don't know what to do. Everything that you're touching, Hashem is closing. Everything that you're trying to do, Hashem is closing and ruin. What? You're dying. So actually you're dying for Hashem Yitbarach, because you continue sacrificing yourself for Hashem Yitbarach, to be honest, not to steal, not to lie, not to talk Lashon Hara, and you have a huge war, huge battle on faith, that you have to hold that thought that Hashem is good, it's good, they just smack me, they just beat me, they just broken me totally. I'm a wreck, they crashed me, this is it, I'm falling, who's gonna save me? Someone told me an amazing story. He didn't know the source, so I cannot give you the source also. He said, for an example, a person is falling now from a cliff, and he's falling and he's rolling from the hill, and he's falling and he's screaming to Hashem. He's looking for something to hold, to grab, and he cannot find nothing. And he's saying, Hashem, Ana Hashem Hoshiana, please Hashem save me. And suddenly he finds a branch and he's holding it with his arm and he's holding it and he's so happy and he's breathing. And then Hashem is saying to him, you saw? So he's saying, yes, thank you Hashem. So Hashem is saying to him again, you saw that you didn't have a branch before and now I just gave you that branch? And he's saying, yes, thank you Hashem. If you saw that, so leave the branch now. Let's see you again. Leave it. Let yourself fall again. You saw it. It was me, right? Yes, you're sure. Yes, Hashem, it was you. Leave it again. This is life. It's always like that for us. Especially to Hasidei Breslov. Especially. One of the friends told me that he talked to one of his friends, and he told him on the difficulties that he had in the eve of Rosh Hashanah, all of coming to Uman and this. His friend told him, I don't understand you. Why you done tshuva and become to be a Breslov? You couldn't be religious. You wouldn't have all of those issues at all. So cool, so easy, just mamash. Who have those domestic problems in Shlom Bayit? Who? Who? But us, Baruch Hashem, we know how to climb back, how to find the tshuva, to find Hashem in it. You have also the tools, the abilities. Everyone are dating, everyone getting married, everyone going out, everyone going to restaurants. You see them with their imagination going, everyone happy, talking out loud in the streets, and all look like it came out from a journal, from a movie. But the truth is that they're not dealing, they're plastering everything, rejecting. It's ceasefire, it's not Shlom Bayit. Real Shlom Bayit is when Hashem is in the house. Hashem cannot be in the house if there is lust for women. Hashem is not in that house. If the husband have a desire for his wife, a strong will, where is she? He cannot have Shlom Bayit. It's not Shlom Bayit. Maybe they have agreements, maybe they decided to be quiet, not to rebuke each other, they want to be polite, they don't want the neighbors to hear. Alright, maybe. Shlom Bayit, peace in the house, they don't have. Holiness, Kedusha, they're not going to have. And those are things that you cannot achieve in a decision in one day. It's something that you have to fight with yourself to be holy. You have to have daily wars with yourself, to guard your eyes daily. To guard your thoughts, to watch over your thoughts, not to be contaminated, not to have bad thoughts, not to have foreign thoughts. Not to hate your wife, not to curse your wife, not to blame your wife, not to blame no one. One of the friends told me that he was blaming his wife on things, that he cannot learn enough, he cannot pray enough. And then she went for 2 weeks and he saw that he's the one to be blamed. He wasn't learning, he wasn't praying, all the same. Admit, it's the truth. And you cannot come to those things if you're not observing, if you're not checking yourself. If you don't really want to fix yourself, you're never going to find out what the truth is. Now the Hashem will not going to run after you, even though that he's doing it, but Hashem is waking up the person and then he's running away, that you're going to chase after him. It's not the right order that Hashem going to chase after you and going to help you more and more and more. Hashem, like that he took us out from Egypt. He gave us 2 mitzvot to keep, the Korban Pesach and the Milah. And based on those 2 mitzvot, we had a certain merit, and now, all right, great, you're innocent, we can Baruch Hashem, you're keeping mitzvot, and now I can save you from Egypt. This is the story, and all of the Baalei Tshuva the same, exactly the same. Hashem is giving them a certain light in the beginning of the Tshuva, illuminate their lives, mikveh, tzitzit, ptil tchelet, and this and that, and they're mamash into tshuva, and they're confessing and doing some viduyim and learning a lot of mishnayot and gemara and zohar and I don't know what. And after 3 months, I don't think it can hold on more than 3 months, maybe 6 months. Hashem is taking all of that light, all of it, and now he's saying to you, let's see, what's your real will? You wanted the light, or you're looking for me? You're looking for your own satisfaction, or really you want to serve me? So if the person is falling, so Hashem usually brings more light, and a little bit more light. And Hashem is not playing, but it's like a game like that he's giving something, and he's giving the minimum. And not because that he wants to give the minimum, because he wants you to be worthy. He wants you to buy it. He wants you to buy it with prayers. He wants you to control yourself, that you're going to be a Baal Bayit, that you're going to own your Kedusha, that is going to be yours. If Hashem made you holy, it's nothing. Hashem can purify you in a day, in a minute, in a moment. You just need to want it to happen. And this is it. You're pure, totally pure. No one can touch you. No one can get close to your Dalet Amot. This is it. But it's all Hashem. You won't have no reward on that. Hashem wants you to break your natures. Hashem wants you to break your lusts, stupid lusts and desires. chasing after food, chasing after money, chasing after honor, chasing after nonsense, on things that are only fruit of imagination. You don't have really nothing over there. All right, you ate all of the plate, all of that steak. What now? What's now? What you achieved? Do you have to run to the bathroom? What you achieved? You were with that woman, great. What now? What now? You feel filthy, you feel bad with yourself. You feel that you have to wash yourself, you have to purify yourself. And all of confusions and all of problems that comes after it, that we cannot count them. That you're dropping all of the Kedusha. Mamash. How you say, down the drain? All of your Kedusha, all of your Limud Torah. It's written, all of your bounty, all of your holiness, you're throwing away. All of your holiness, you're throwing away. And Hashem wants you to keep it. Hashem wants you to learn Torah and to hold it for yourself, that you're going to have that light, that it's going to illuminate from your face, from your smile, from your eyes, from your hands when you're praying, that your organ's going to be illuminated, that you're going to be like a lighthouse. You're going to be able to light for other people, that they're going to find the way. In this generation, everyone that wear a kippah becomes to be a rabbi. You become to be a rabbi, and on the spot, you become to be a rabbi. This is it. You have a kippah. These questions in the halakha. Immediately, tell me what you do in Shabbos, if this, if that, what you should know. There is a bet knesset. There is when you should say Kriyat Shema. All of those questions, each and every one of us been asked. Why? Because the generation is thirsty, and everyone wants to hear. Everyone wants to learn. What's the way? How should I act? What should I do? And halachically, if you don't know the answer, you should say, I don't know. But to tell him that it's all Hashem, this is the best. If you have the ability to save a person from lack of faith and to give him faith to believe in the Creator, this is the biggest thing of them all. And for that, you don't need to be a rabbi. You don't need to be nothing. You just need to be a believer. You just need to believe in Hashem. If you believe in Hashem, you can give it to someone else. This is why the main work that we have is to work on our own faith, to believe that it's all Hashem, and not to let it run from our thoughts, not to lose that concentration. Always to bring it back to awareness. Always, it's Hashem, it's Hashem. There was a righteous man in Breslov that he הרגיל את עצמו, made himself used to do like that with his finger. Every few moments he was doing that, to remind himself where I'm in the world. All of the time he was waking himself up like that. He was doing that, and he got used to that. All right, I need to attach myself to Hashem. People are putting that, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid, that note in the... It's all good tricks, but if you don't really want to attach yourself to Hashem, you can forget Hashem even that it's written. Yud Kei Vav Kei in front of your eyes, and you're not going to remember Hashem. If you don't really want to attach yourself to Hashem Yitbarach, you are never going to be attached. It depends in your will. If you have a will, you're connected. If you don't have a will, you're separated. Ta'ava yevakesh nifrad. If you have a desire, the desire is asking for separation. It's a verse. The desire, the lust that a person have is asking from him, is demanding him to separate himself from the Creator. This is what that she wants, separation. So if you have lusts and desires and you let them be, mean that you're standing and you're choosing food with your eyes. I want this and that and this and that, and you cannot hold that pita anymore. You cannot. It's not a bag, a plastic bag. It's a pita. It's bread. It's going to tear. It's going to fall from the bottom. You cannot hold it. But if you're doing that, you're increasing the lust and desires on yourself. Shalom Aleichem. You're increasing the lust and desires on yourself. And what it's demanding you to separate yourself from Hashem. It will never going to let you connect yourself to Hashem. So a person have to have a certain awareness that is 24/7, all of the time, to be connected to the Creator and not to forget Him. Even if it's going to cost as much as it's going to cost, in the end you're just going to gain. Because kirvat Elokim liktov, because to be close to Hashem, this is what that's good in life. And nothing else is good in life. Nothing else is good in life. You can have everything and you're going to feel bitterness. From everything that you have, you're going to feel bitterness. You're married and you have hell in your house. You have children and you hate them. And they hate you. And you're learning Torah and you don't understand nothing from it. No right conclusions. No straight wisdom. No nothing. No advice. Just more questions and more investigations and nothing you have in your hands in the end of 8 hours in the Beis Midrash. Going to the mikveh and you're not finding Hashem, so you don't have nothing. You can live like a frog in the swamp, and you can live in the mikveh, and you will never gonna be purified because you're a frog. You have to work on your nature not to be contaminated, to try to purify yourself always. To attach yourself to real righteous people, to attach yourself to source of Kedusha. And to let it work on you, to let it affect on you. When suddenly a person feels waking up to do tshuva, you have to take that, you have to use that. You have to have a certain thought. Yesterday I'm going to share with you, and I'm sorry Nissim that I'm maybe chas shalom embarrassing you in a certain way. I heard one of the songs from that wonderful group CD, from Nissim CD, the 9th one, an amazing song that is talking about a young kid that is in the generation of being slaves, an Afro-American boy that was working as a slave in the cotton fields, and he's all wounded and he feels such a horrible sorrow and hatred. And after it, in an amazing way, Nissim is, I think this is what I got from it, that he's in the second part of the song, he's singing on a second kid, on a boy in the generation of the Holocaust, and that he's standing in line and he's suffering and he sees his mother and he knows that it's the last time and he's stopping himself from crying. And I heard that song and it hits me like a thunder in a bright day. For me it was, I don't know what to say. It was a huge, it was a knockout, mamash. I couldn't grab it. I had to hear it again. I heard it yesterday maybe 30 times. I couldn't stop it. I heard it again and again and again and again, and I'm crying and I want to do something with it and I don't know what. In the end, what have I done? I put it on repeat. This is how I went to sleep, with it on repeat. And I was just closing my eyes and I'm sitting on my couch and I'm saying, Hashem, give me faith. Hashem, give me faith. 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. This is what I was doing. This is how I went to sleep yesterday night. I was connecting myself to Hashem. Hashem, give me faith. How can you have faith? In those difficulties, how can you have faith? But you have to have faith. This is what you should do, to ask for faith. You cannot have faith in those situations, but we have to. So this is what that we should do, to scream for faith. And there is no different from the sorrow of that little kid in the Holocaust or in United States of that horrible generation to a kid that born today to the world and he wants to die. And he hates his parents and he wants to die. And they're closing him in a huge school with thousands of people and he hates everyone and he doesn't find himself and for him it's a Holocaust. He's stuck in front of television, in front of internet, he's got all of lust and desire surrounding him and he hates himself and he hates life. It's the same. So for those boys, for those kids, we need to wake up. We need to be the light for them. Who's going to help them? Who's going to help those little kids if not us? So this is why we have to beg on faith, to beg, to cry. Please Hashem, let me believe in you. I don't have faith, Rebbe Nachman. I couldn't stand in those situations. I know myself. I would kick the Bible, I would kick everything. I would kick the Torah, I would kick the Bet Knesset, I would kick my rabbi. I know myself. I wouldn't stand in those tests. This is why I don't have those tests. Rabbi Yehuda Leibovitch said to Rav Shalom that he's got faith like the people that had faith in the generation of the Holocaust. I asked Rav Shalom what it means. It means that even if I was there in that generation, I wouldn't fall from my faith. And it's a huge thing. Not to fall from faith in that generation. People were holding their faith through all of the years of Holocaust, and after Holocaust they canceled everything. Rav Berlan said that if you have someone that he was in the Holocaust and he still got just kippah on his head, kippah, only kippah. All of the rest he doesn't have. He's got a kippah, he's just holding kippah on his head. You should ask bracha from him, and it's bigger than all of every bracha of every admor. Every admor, his bracha is less strong than the bracha of that Jew that still got a kippah after the Holocaust. And today it's a Holocaust. Today it's a Holocaust. Today it's a Holocaust that you cannot find Hashem unless if Hashem is revealing Himself to you. And us, that Hashem revealed Himself to us, we have a huge responsibility on our shoulders, huge, the hugest of them all. The complaint in all of the generation were only on the prophets, only on the leaders of the generation. And we are those, even though that we know that we're full with cracks and lackings. With all of that, we saw Hashem. You saw Hashem, this is it. You've been obligated. Hashem forced you. Hashem obligates you. You have to pass that message. You have to give it over to someone else. It's not belong to you. If you think that it's belong to you, you're a thief. You're a thief, and Hashem gonna punish you on that. You cannot hold the kedusha that's not belong to you, to yourself. You have to work on yourself, to purify yourself, that you're gonna have the vessels, the abilities to contain it, that you're gonna have the way to hand it over to someone else. This is why you need to work on your smile. This is why you need to work on knowing how to tell jokes. This is why you need to know how to sing songs. This is why you need to know how to learn Gemara, that you're gonna be able to teach. If you're not to know how to learn, you're not allowed to sit and learn. And I told you that a lot of times before. You have a prohibition to sit and learn. If you know how to learn Gemara, you have a prohibition to sit and learn Gemara. You have to sit and teach Gemara. If you're swimming and you know how to swim and people are drowning in the swimming pool, you're not allowed to swim. You have a prohibition to swim. You have to be a lifeguard, lifeguard. You have to take people out. For that, you're only allowed to use your talents. You're not allowed to sing for yourself. If you're a singer, you're obligated to sing for them. If you know how to learn, you're not allowed to learn for yourself. You have to learn to teach them. If you know how to speak, how to cheer up people, you have to use that. If you have a talent, you have to use that talent. And each and every one of us have the ability to do that. And we have to sacrifice ourselves to Hashem Yitbarach, to tell Him, Hashem, you see me? It's yours. Belongs to you. This is it. Let me know what you want me to do. And until He's going to reveal His will to you, that you're going to understand, that you're going to know for sure. All right, now I know. You're not allowed to stop for asking. Until you're going to know. What, you came to enjoy life? This is why you came. After 120, they're going to tell you that you missed it, that you lost everything. Now it's time for punishment, time for a rebuke. Let us have the rebuke here, that we're going to fix ourselves, and in the world to come we're going to be able to do more things. You think that in the world to come it's going to finish? The world to come, it's eternity. Every soul is a drop of water in the sea of infinity. In the world to come, even if you purified yourself as much as you can, you become to be like that drop of water, of haza'ah, of the ashes of red cow that you throw on the contaminated people. You purify. This is it. You're just purifying people. In the world to come, the souls that came, they're not holding your level. And now we need to purify all of those souls also in the world to come. You achieved a huge knowledge in this world. You have to share with that knowledge also in the world to come. How are you going to do that? Take that pure drop of holy water and throw it to the ocean. It's need to purify the ocean. It's going to take time for that little drop to spread in the huge ocean. And the ocean over there, it's infinity. And you have to spread and spread and spread. It's going to take you endless time. It's never going to finish. Also in the world to come, we're going to work. Also in the world to come, we're going to distribute the light of Hashem. Which light? The light that you achieved here. The satisfaction and your mission going to be bigger and bigger in the world to come. It depends on how much you achieved here in this world. If you purified yourself here, your job over there going to be also more important. Also in the world to come, we need to purify, we need to share, we're all together. The soul of Am Yisrael is one. It's one in this world and one in the world to come. And we're always going to be bond, and we always have to hug each other and to love each other and to strengthen each other and to smile to each other and to support each other. Always. Never going to end. The love, it's like mating. It's a yichud. It's yichud kudsha brichu shchinte. It's always going to be. It's a bonding, that it's an attachment that it's forever. It's an eternal attachment between HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Am Yisrael. And it's never going to finish. It's not going to finish when this world going to be finished. It's an endless world. It's eternal world. In the world to come, you're going to be able to see what did you achieved. And it all depends in the will. It all depends in the decision. It all depends in the dedication. In your real will, what you want from this life. You want honor, you want satisfaction, you want money, you want quiet, that no one gonna rebuke you. This what you want in life? You can have it. Not as a Breslover, but you can have it. But you can have it. But if really you want for Hashem Yitbarach, this is also something that you can have. And if you're not gonna be a Breslover, you cannot have it. Rabbeinu said that. That if you don't have 1 hour of Hitbodedut, no matter who is your father, who is your mother, how much money you have in your bank, you won't gonna be a kosher person. No matter what. You can be the son of Admor, you can be Admor. You can be Admor. You can be a grandson of the Magid Mimezrich, of Baal Shem Tov. You can be a grandson of the Jose Milublin. You can be a grandson of I don't know who, of Moshe Rabbeinu. You're a Kohen. Whatever. It's not helping you at all. You see that it's not helping you at all. Even if you have a connection, you have your Ilan Yochasin, how you say, tree of how you say, family tree, mamash, your miyuchas, you know exactly where you came from. It's not helping you to get rid of your bad habits, from your lusts, from your desires, from being a clown, from telling jokes of all of rudeness, all of bad behaviors. It's not helping you, the fact that you're a grandson of the Noam Elimelech or Rabbi Zusha or I don't know who. Or Rashi HaKadosh. It's not helping. Bottom line, you see them falling like flies in this generation. Going to clubs and discotheques and you see them hiding their peot under their hat, and this is it. Turning over the hat, going to the club. Great. It's fashion to go with a short beard to the clubs. It's great. No one is stopping you. Adrabah, you're gonna think that you're gonna have drugs or something. It's all perfect. Can be mamash VIP. All imagination. The truth is that it all depends in what you want. If you want to get closer to Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem is there waiting for you. And when you're gonna see Him, I'm not promising that you're gonna smile in the beginning. It can be a rebuke. Because the one that He loves, He's rebuking him. Because He wants you to get closer to Him, and you cannot get closer to Him with your filthy clothes, with the bgadim dirty, the contaminated clothes. You cannot get close to Him with that. There is a story on one of the students of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov had a student named Rabbi Natan. Rabbi Natan had a student, one of his students, that his name was, I think, Rabbi Shimon. He got married when he was 13 years old. He was very holy. He never had no pgam abrit, nothing like that at all. And one time in his life, he had a very important mesirut nefesh to get closer to Rabbi Natan. After that, Rabbeinu passed away. He wanted to come to the classes of Rabbi Natan that he was teaching, but his father was not allowing him to go to the classes of Breslov classes, Chas Shalom. So, he loved his kid, so he was watching that he was not gonna go. But that kid, Shimon, was running away from the house and going and finding the ways to go to the classes. One night, there was an important class of Rabbi Natan, and the father locked him in his room in the second floor and took his clothes and hid his clothes. and he locked him in a room, and this is it. And there was a window, there was a tree over there, but he was naked. He had only underpants or something. He couldn't go, and he wanted to go. He opened the closet, and over there was clothes that his father took as a pond, mashkon. As a mashkon, collateral. All right, collateral from a non-Jew farmer that owed him money, and it was very weird clothes in that generation. It was something that a Talmid Chacham, a Jew, cannot wear. Mamash rags, something like that, and he didn't have a choice, and he wore that, and he climbed down from the tree and ran to the Beit Midrash. When he went in, all of the students saw him, started to laugh. Look at him, dressed as like a clown. Well, they all laughed at him. But Rabbi Nachman, with his divine spirit, realized it all, with his wisdom. And he went to him and hugged him and told him, I owe you one. I owe you a favor. He realized the Msirut Nefesh that he had to come to the class. He said, I owe you one. After a while, he got married. He became to be 13. He got married. He went to work in a certain wood as a guard. And the wood was belonged to a grandson of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. After that, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov passed away. And as Breslovers, he took him to work for him. He told him, it's a very good work for you. He was growing trees, and they were cutting them and selling them for carpenters, for Nagaria, and then he was growing more trees, and he had woods. This was his parnasa, the grandson of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. And he told him, you're going to watch that wood, that forest, and I'm going to pay you as a guard. And also, and you're going to have your time. You can do a long hitbodeduyot. Breslover, perfect job to be work in Keren Kayemet. One of the best. The best job in the world. And also, another thing, he told him, look, if you're going to need more money than how much that you gained already, you can take, and you're going to pay with the time. He allowed him to take a loan from the money and to pay with time. It was okay for him to use more money than he worked, that he achieved already. Wonderful. And then he had to marry, after a long time, he had to marry one of his kids. And he took a loan from that money, and it was allowed. He took a loan and he planned to pay it back with the years, with the time. But he didn't finish to pay, and he passed away. He died. Very holy, very righteous man. He used that gift that he received in the woods to scream all night long and to pray to Hashem Yitbarach. Like we said, never had Pgam Brit and nothing, but he had a debt to a grandson of Rabbeinu. When he came to the world to come, he said that in that generation, today we're not allowed to do that, but they were making an oath. Rabbeinu said to make an oath in Nekitat Chefetz, to hold the Sefer Torah, to hold something, and to make an oath that you, first thing in the world to come, are coming to Rabbeinu, straight to Rabbeinu. Ani ratz yashar leRabbeinu. I'm running straight to Rabbeinu. To make that oath. Rav Shalom forbidden us to do that. He said you cannot take responsibility of false oath, because you don't know if you're going to control your mind to do that first thing. If you know that you can do that, do that. You know that you cannot do that, you're not allowed to do that. Because to make an oath and not to keep it, it's a horrible thing. So we're not doing it, we're just hoping that first thing we're praying on that first day of all, we're going to run to our Rebbe, to Rabbeinu HaKadosh. So he done that, and he went straight to Rabbeinu. When he came to Rabbeinu, Rabbeinu looked at him and smelled him and said to him, all of that been revealed, all of that story in the world to come been revealed after Maaseh. After that it happened, he came in a dream to tell that story, how Rabbi Natan paid back. What happened? He came in front of Rabbeinu, and Rabbeinu looked at him and smelled him and said, I still smell the smell of this world, of regular world, Olam Hazeh. You cannot be close to me if you have the smell of this world. We're talking on a righteous man 200 years ago, maybe 180 years ago, in a generation that there was no all of those horrible lust and desire, never had Pgam Brit in his life, got married in age of 13, doing tshuva, students of Rabbi Natan. Rabbeinu said, take him to the river of fire in the Har Dinur. He have to purify himself in the Har Dinur. He came to stand in front of the Har Dinur. He couldn't move. Suddenly he saw Rabbi Natan standing close to him. Rabbi Natan told him, give me your hand. and he jumped with him to Nahar Dinur, to the river of fire. And he said, I couldn't do that without Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman encouraged him. For Rabbi Nachman it was satisfaction. When you're pure, the river of fire is purifying you more. You feel satisfaction. When you're contaminated, when you still have a body, you're afraid. The body is afraid. He's all shaking. He doesn't know how to deal, to confront the fire. He's afraid of it. And then Rabbi Nachman jumped with him to the fire. They came back. Rabbeinu smelled him and said, still there is a little bit of smell. And he went back again to dip in river of fire in Nahar Dinur. From that we need to understand how much we need to purify ourselves. And us, that we were so contaminated, that until today we're doing things without thinking. We're touching things without thinking. Iron, it's something that passed contamination. Real righteous people are not touching iron. Iron is passing contamination. There was that righteous man, Rabbi Yosef Voltoch, he wasn't touching iron, never. If there was, even when he was very old, he was climbing, he wouldn't hold the
Railing.
metal.
Railing. Metal passes contamination and he wasn't holding the railing.
This is it. Great. So, and even when he was very old, if there was wood on it, like we learned today in the Gemara Shiur, wood is not passing the contamination, but metal does. Righteous people are aware to all of those things, and and us we're not, and we're affected by that. We're affected by our eating and by our watching nonsense and seeing bad things and wandering like tourists with our eyes, watching and looking and checking everything. Contamination comes in. So we need to know that we have to dedicate our lives to tshuva, to dedicate our life to confessions, to prayers, to beg to Hashem Yitbarach to go and purify us, finally. And for sure, that everyone that have confidence in Hashem Yitbarach, like Rabbeinu said to us, don't worry that I'm walking in front of you. When you're counting on Hashem Yitbarach, for sure, only kindness is going to surround you. Only Hashem's light going to surround you. Hashem going to answer to all of your prayers. Just we have to be mamash, to be regular in tshuva, to do that daily, to pray more and more on daily basis, every day. You cannot have a day without 1 hour hitbodedut. You cannot. It's not an option. It's not reality. It's not happening. It's not happening. A day without 1 hour hitbodedut, it's not happening. We have the promise. If you made hitbodedut on that day, they're not going to judge you on that day. If you haven't done hitbodedut, they're going to judge you, and you know that you cannot answer. This is why you cannot have a day without 1 hour hitbodedut. And no matter how that hour going to look like. Harav Shalom told me that myself. One time he obligated me to do it a certain half an hour on top of the 1 hour that I was doing, and I came to him after 1 month and told him, Harav, my hour looks like a disaster and the half an hour is horrible. He told me, don't look at it at all. I'm lifting up your prayers and do them as they're going to be. I'm lifting them for you, don't worry, it's not your job. You think that you should have it, but do it with passion, with love, with tears. No. When you think like that, you think that you're making your tshuva, that you're purifying yourself. It means that you are a kofar, that you think that you're a reality. Only when you know that it all depends in the merciness of Hashem, it all depends in the love of Hashem, it all depends in the huge power of the Holy Rebbe. So then it can purify you. But if you still think that you're a reality, so you are that mechitza, you're blocking the light from illuminating you, from the fire to burn all of the contamination. Because you have a being. You have a being, so it cannot be. You have to cancel yourself. How are you going to cancel yourself? Don't worry, Hashem going to do that for us. We just need to hold on. Thank you very much. Chazak u'baruch.